This video will feature physical environment and classroom materials, curriculum, teaching strategies, assessment strategies, and proposed family engagement strategies, all with a focus on literacy.
Goals of early childhood education, according to Sharon Lynn Kagan, is to promote a student's developmental strengths. Our goal of early childhood education, based on literacy, is to make sure every child becomes literate by encouraging an awareness of how reading and writing are useful. This can be accomplished by developing listening and comprehension skills, developing oral language skills, and exploring the process of communication through written language.
There are 4 stages of child development in which early childhood educators and professionals should know. Knowing how children learn and develop enables educators to confidently implement developmental appropriate practices to suit all children's learning. According to Morrison, young children are shaped by multiple influences that determine their life outcomes, like children's culture, language, social relationships, children and family social economic conditions, and children's disabilities. Notable theorist John Dewey emphasized children and their interests rather than subject matter. Dewey believed that education is a process of activities through which children learn about life and the skills necessary for living. John Dewey is an important figure in the field of early childhood education. His progressive education movement, based on children's learning by doing, formed the foundation for and is a transition to constructivist education, which is the foundational theory for the practice of early childhood education.
Our ideal classroom will have a physical environment of desks being grouped together to create a community-like setting that would promote class discussions, be group work based, and have multiple literacy centers. Grouping desks together will promote a community-like setting where children can work and learn from each other and stay engaged.
According to DAP, by putting the desks in a semicircle, a community environment is promoted and social development is encouraged. Maturing language and communication skills that take place during the primary grades influence children's increasing multifaceted social and emotional skills.
Curriculum will be focused on engagement strategies, have built vocabulary through phonics activities and creating sight words. Activities will have a scheduled block of time. Like Belinda does in her classroom, we will have a literacy wall to promote creating sentences.
During the writing wall, students can take adjective cards, noun cards, verb cards, and they can make sentences. They can build them together. The writing strips are in pocket charts so that they can still write neatly with a dry erase marker. And they can fill the whole thing with any of the cards and make up any of the sentences that they want using adjectives, nouns, and verbs. They can also come to the circles and make synonyms. So if they want to come up with another word for synonyms, they have to grab a blue piece of paper using a regular marker. And this one's smooth, though it wouldn't go with it, but they would write their adjectives. And you can see some students still have their words on there, but there are blank papers for them to use and come up with synonyms. Then we have our spelling words, and this changes with each week that we change our lesson because the spelling words will change. We highly encourage them to use their spelling words in sentences. They can also use the cards from over here all the way down here or vice versa. As they're building their sentences, again, dry erase marker and a pocket chart with writing lines behind it. So they want to produce a complete sentence. This is your writing standard. So students have an iPad at the very end of the center that sits on this desk here where they can take a picture of it, and later I can go back and look to see, are they completing, or producing complete sentences? Do they have capital letters? Do they have finger space? Have they used punctuation marks? And are they using their spelling words? I also use a timer during my centers so students can visibly see how much time they have left to get their work done, especially those students who have a hard time completing a task on time. So it buzzes once the time is up and students know they have a minute to clean up. So it's a pretty loud buzzer, so they know time is up, now they have to clean up.
By scheduling a block of time to study a new concept or skills is necessary and productive. By having a specific time for focused instruction to work on specific skills, such as new vocabulary words or sentence structure, teachers enable children to add to and deepen their building understanding and abilities.
Teaching strategies. There will be center work and cooperative learning, and children get to practice in small groups, like Miss Belinda's Rocket Reading Center, for example.
This is the Rocket Reading Center, Rocket Reading Corner, where students can come in and they have books based on Journey's curriculum, leveled readers that they can choose from. There are below level readers, on level readers, and above level readers. There's also an array of other books here that they can choose from. When we do fluency reading, one-on-one reading, students are allowed to use what looks like a phone so they can hear their echo as they're reading. But some of them are lower level readers where they'll read decodable books and emergent literature books. They can read this with a partner, they can read this with a teacher.
According to DAP, working in small groups with assignments that are related to literacy is very important. By working in small groups, the teacher is not only able to teach the students at their level, she is able to teach through modeling. The teacher can model how to read from left to right. They can discuss what is happening on each page and problem solve how the story may or may not end. This also allows for open-ended instruction and enables the teacher to focus on what each student in the group needs.
So some of the assessments that I use for a pre-assessment, I can use my bell work, especially the literacy piece of it. Students can answer true or false questions, or if they're having difficulty, they can raise it up and I see it's a yellow card. If they're doing well and they've got it, they can just keep the pink side up so that I can know. Also a good formative assessment or even a post-assessment is their homework. Seeing how well they can do it at home.
Assessment strategies are related to DAP because it gives the teacher the opportunity to understand the development and learning of each student. Assessments can be formal in the form of tests or informal by simply asking the students questions while conducting a lesson. Assessments of the students is important in many ways. The teacher can use the assessment to create the curriculum for the students. The teacher can use it to determine if she needs to adapt her teaching style according to the needs of the students. Assessments also can be useful in promoting parent communication.
Family engagement strategies. Having monthly food drives where books will be available for all families and students, and having literacy nights for students and families. Literacy nights can include having separate activities in a school where families are invited to interact and play and finish assignments with their children.
Food bank, since we're in the library, we put out a bunch of books that those families can take home so that the students can get literacy at home and families can be engaged with them at home outside of school. They get to choose the books that they want and they get to take them home. They're free, they don't have to pay for them, they can take as many as they want.
Family engagement is related to DAP because it allows the parents and the teachers and administrators to effectively communicate with each other. Programs can be used to invite families to participate in the decision-making and goal-setting for their child. Teachers and programs engage families in two-way communication and conversations that focus on the child's educational experience. Programs provide learning opportunities for the home and in the community by encouraging families to create a learning environment beyond school. In our future classroom, we hope to promote literacy through classroom discussion and family engagement.
While using centers and working in groups, we hope our students will encourage each other and learn from each other. As we all know, working well in groups is a skill that will lead into college. In conclusion, we all feel that enhancing literacy early on sets a solid foundation for becoming educated adults.